Hello there, Ray here, and we're here on ProtoTech. We're going to continue working on our lightning farm. So more specifically, lightning farm is right here. This is the one that gives us trap horses using the RNG, and we have got that working pretty much. There's some more stuff going on with that, but what today we wanted to do is we wanted to add in a mob skull farm. So you know the lightning is coming down, we're making it go directly inside of this one chunk over here, and it's pretty much just in this one chunk when the player is over here. But we want to, if we move the player just over a little bit, because the player moves a little bit, we can actually make it so lightning, instead of going to this chunk, it will come over here and be applied inside of this chunk, which is pretty cool. Now, as you guys know, as charged creepers farms, you need to have those creepers struck by lightning. And since we can summon in that lightning using our RNG manipulation, then we can easily get lightning to strike right where we want the creepers to be at. So yeah, if you guys are not too sure about what's all going on here, I will link the previous videos where we're working on this down in the description. So what we need to do is come up with a farm where we can get creepers and get them charged, and then put them in a situation where we can have them blow up on other creepers as well as zombies and skeletons. Since there are 3 different types of skulls you can get from charged creepers, well, there's more, but those are the 3 main ones that you can get. The wither skeleton skulls you can also get from charged creepers, but wither skeleton farms are much quicker. So we need to get creeper heads, zombie heads, and skeleton heads from this farm. We hopped on here, which is our CMP world, it stands for Creative Multiplayer Server, and we came up with some designs to collect these mobs. So this farm here will be able to have zombies, skeletons, creepers spawn inside of it, and we won't get any spiders or endermen because of the size restrictions. We will get witches. That's just part of the deal. And then we have it so that KK went along and built up it as an entire farm, as well as Bobby and Rubik's and myself helped him. And he pretty much got it so that this is a 20 meter per second elevator or conveyor down here. And then these will also push out pretty much the same speed all along here. And it'll transport all the mobs to the center, and we designed it up so that mobs will all go into a center spot. So pretty much all the mobs from all the spawning spots ends up right there. Now we're going to go ahead and build this up on the ProtoTech server. We got most of the farm built up, and this farm was designed by KK. We had a little bit of help from Rubik's as well as Respawn and myself. We tried to help him with some of the timings. And the farm works in such a way is that there is some spawning floors in each of these wings, and then we will push the mobs off their spawning floors, put them down into a 20 meter per second conveyor, push them towards the center. We'll take a look at it once we start up. Not quite finished. We got most of the redstone in. As you see, we got the wall or the ceiling in as well. So it looks like from underneath. A lot of redstone components underneath, as well as some limestone in there to push the mobs towards the center. And we have a central area where we will keep the mobs once we have got them towards the center. We also need to do some more redstone around this area here, and that's what we're going to work on next. Because this farm is going to use the same lightning as this farm over here, we're going to move the lightning from this chunk where it's used to make the trap horse farm, and we're going to move it over into this chunk by moving the player over slightly. So to do that, we want to make sure that there is a clear area for the lightning to come down and strike upon our farm down below. We're going to have to remove some of these redstone components here, which are kind of overhanging this chunk here. So you can see some up there as well. We'll have to kind of tidy up. So I went ahead and removed all the materials that were hanging over the edge. So you can see there was a bunch of blocks hanging over, similar to this one, about 3 meters. Removed them, kind of compacted it. We came up with this design. It's a little bit more compact and doesn't hang over into this chunk over here. still see that there is 2 meters that are hanging over. And I went ahead and also removed the redstone down here, mostly go with the timings of the system. This is the helmet sorter to sort out the Protection 8 helmets. So yeah, pretty much it's all not inside of that chunk. That way there's a clear view for lightning to come down and strike upon this area. And this is pretty much the chunk where we're going to move the lightning. So from that one over into this one. And we have a whole bunch of armor stands here, which are going to be like lightning rods. I haven't put them all in yet, but you see we got some set in here. And pretty much the way it works is that lightning strikes, it'll check a 3x3 by area, any height going upwards and about 3 meters down, looking for an entity to strike upon, and it will find this armor stand right here, and then it will come to it, or any of these armor stands, and then once it strikes them, then it will search a 6x6 by 12 meter area. So it's going to search out 3 meters from this entity, looking for other entities in the area to damage, as well as give them the lightning effect. So underneath of here, we have the farm, and allow it so that when lightning strikes this, it'll search 3 meters either way, and also search down 6 meters, and will find any mobs that are inside of the farm. So you can see this is the inside of the farm. It's just a bunch of spawning floors, and then in here, mobs will spawn, then we have pistons to push them off, fall down into this 20 meter per second conveyor, and take them to the center. So we'll get this finished up, and then we should be able to turn this on. We finished up the parts of the farm down there, as well as I worked on the redstone here. I had some help building up the farm down there. I had Lynn as well as Respawn helped me, and Command Block Guy came by and helped as well. So we got most of the redstone in place, and I'm just going to test it. So I want to see if the pistons above will pulse correctly, and I also want to see if the power goes down to the farm and if that turns on correctly. Let's take a look at these pistons up here. So this is supposed to send power over to this, and this is supposed to go up. Oh, missed a piston in there. That piston in there and see if that makes it work. Okay, so now the power is up there, and it has to go into a clock. Let's double check that clock. So here by the clock, I'm just missing a couple of components. Now it is working. Let's see how the pistons are working down below. Looks like everything's going fine down in there. Oh, don't want to stand there. Fill in that hole. So the pistons are pulsing from the top to the bottom. This one over here, that one's not hooked up for some reason. Let's check on that one. Looks like maybe somehow I messed stuff up so those didn't turn on. Okay, so the component just needed some of these blocks switch around. That should send the pulse through there. Now it looks like all the pistons are pulsing towards the center. Looks like it's working great. We built up most of the mob farm. Let's go take a look at it. We gotta put in a couple more components. So there it is so far. We started accidentally going out a little too far with the stone, but it's kind of like a big cross section. And what is going on is that each of these edges here has a mob spawning area, and then we're using these wings to let the mobs spawn in, and then we're bringing them towards the center over here. When the mobs get pushed towards the center, there is a hole for them to fall down. Ooh, creeper there. And yeah, right there, they're gonna fall down that hole, and there is some water underneath of that. And we built up some stuff underneath to collect the mobs. Take a look at that. Right over here, we built up this area here, which is where the mobs fall into. Fall inside of this big, huge cube, some water in there. And what happens is we're going to have creepers in there, as well as zombies, which is skeletons. Skeleton will try to shoot out towards this iron golem, and instead he will accidentally hit the creepers that are in front of him, and any arrows that do miss, so just get hit by this sand entity, and they'll ricochet off and fall down. And then once the skeletons do hit the creeper, then they will blow up and be able to drop music discs as well as skulls. But the ones that drop skulls obviously have to be charge creepers, so we have to make sure that the lightning comes down, strikes the creeper we're coming into here. That's what we have it timed up for. Then we went ahead and we built up this. This is a sorter to sort out all the different items, and also a shulker box loader. This is Smokey's design, where we come in and have sorters on top, and then we have some shulker box loaders underneath, which are going to take all the loot and put them inside here. Let's see, this one is for arrows. Yeah, arrows come down and fill up here, then they break off, and they go inside of the water stream, and then they get sent over there to a chest. To close this off, items don't switch through there. And Tim helped collect the resources to build up the farm, and Bobby came in and helped us build up the item sorter down below. So we started up both the top as well as the bottom farms at the same time just to test it. Top one's working fine, and so is the bottom one. You see this farm working. Mobs will spawn on top of this up here, and then they'll get pushed off, and it's kind of like a wave effect. It starts in the back and it keeps pushing them forward, and then there's a 20 meter per second conveyor down here, which is pushing the mobs once they fall down here. There are some holes in the floor to let the baby zombies out, and also on the edges so that they can actually get removed from the mob cap. Otherwise, they won't get pushed by pistons. Everything is pushing them towards the center here. Okay, so we got the lightning farm to work, and we turned it on, and you see lightning striking down upon our trap horse farm. This is the funnel of doom, collecting all the trapped horses, them towards the center here, where the player will whack at them, count as a player kill, then they drop down to their deaths, where their items will drop from the fall damage. Then the zombies will have a chance to pick up those items if they want to, and then the rest gets destroyed by lava, as well as XP to prevent lag. But the addition that we added onto this farm is that we added on this mob skull farm over here. So what we have is the player sitting in the AFK spot here, and we're moving the player over up against this anvil. When he's up against the anvil, he's able to move the lightning from this chunk that we're currently in, which has the funnel of doom, over into this chunk over here. Now when the lightning's in this chunk, it will 100% of the time produce trap horses, and when it moves over here, it'll also produce trap horses, except if it hits an entity. So when the player moves over here for a split moment, the lightning moves over here, and it's able to strike all the way down here, where we got these armor stands, kind of like lightning rods. They track the lightning here. Once the lightning strikes, then it will be able to see underneath the mobs that they can damage. So once the player moves over, it's the same time that the mobs will be moving towards the center, and like just like that, you can see it struck them, and they drop it down into this water here. And what will happen is that if a creeper would come by and get struck by the lightning, then it would be put down in here, and then the creeper would be able to get charged by the lightning. And if the skeleton and creeper both in there, you can see the skeleton will accidentally shoot the creeper. What happens is the skeleton is trying to hit this iron golem that's over here, but he's being protected by this wall of falling sand, in which case his arrows will bounce off and just fall over here. You see some charged creepers in there now. Pretty much they're going to allow it so that they will drop some items, and charged creepers killing other mobs will allow them to drop their skulls. So we can get the zombie skulls, the skeleton skulls, as well as creeper skulls really easily, while also running our trap horse farm over there. So it's a really awesome way to get two things at once. All the items from this farm are being collected up, and they are being sorted and stored. I just love watching this part. It's like a big fighting pit in here. The mobs all fighting. It always starts with the skeletons trying to shoot. Doesn't end well. You can see the loots are coming through, and they're going through the sorters here. Once in a while you get a skull when you get charged creeper killing stuff. Sort out all the different stuff. On the end here we have sorters that are sorting out the skulls. So this one is the creepers, zombies, as well as skeletons. Now we did run this for 12 hours overnight. Works awesome. And what we got going down here is pretty much all the sorters are putting stuff into the shulker box loaders. And yeah, once they fill up, then they drop them off in this chest here. And we also get a byproduct of music disc, because every once in a while we have it so that a skeleton will kill a creeper right away, and this will allow them to drop music discs. So it's like a music disc farm, mob head farm, as well as going for some protection 8 helmet farm. It's a pretty amazing farm. Everything's working just as we wanted it to. I'm really impressed with this build. Pretty much the current skull count so far, just by running it overnight, is from the shulker boxes that we have in here. And we got pretty much over 2 stacks plus the 41 that we have in the sorter. Very similar for the zombie as well as the skeleton skulls. So that's pretty good. I'd like to show you guys what it looks like from the inside here. As you can see, my guy kind of sits in here between this ender chest and this anvil. That fits in here that's pushing me back and forth. And got some trapdoors just to keep the skeleton horses from attacking me. And then when they land on top of this gate right here, I can just swing at them at their feet, so I can kill them. There's also a bed over behind this, which I sleep into. But yeah, you can see the current score up in the top right. And that is the total amount of skeleton horses I've killed. And there is a whole bunch right here. As you can see, I have killed over 52,000. The thing that we learned is that actually the scoreboard only keeps track of the horses that you completely kill. So you have to do like a swing attack with a player that actually kills the horse for it to count on the scoreboard. The ones that you swing and just do a little bit of damage to and then end up dying to the fall damage do not count towards the scoreboard, but they do count towards like the player loot. So you'll get the specific player loot out of them, they won't count over on the sideboard. So even though if I'll swing at groups of like 10 or 20 skeleton horses at a time, and they end up all dropping their loot down below and XPs, only the one I actually swing at will die. So the scoreboard's a little bit off, so you could probably say that I've killed maybe 10 times or 20 times as many as shown in the scoreboard, as I have been running this overnight. It's been pretty insane. But yeah, you can kind of see I also have a switch over there that allows me, barely see it, it allows me to turn off and on the chunk loading that's way off in the distance. And yeah, it's a little hide hole here. I'm using one of my alt accounts, as you see as well. But it's pretty amazing to run this farm. I'm definitely going to be running this farm for probably over the nights on the server. It's a pretty insane amount of loots and other crazy stuff we can get this from this farm. And there's an off switch that's just over here to turn the whole thing off. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. So thanks for joining me as I have fun in survival. Bye-bye!